We kindly request that you please switch all electronic devices to silent mode. Please join me as we warmly welcome our distinguished guests. Salam sejahtera and a very good morning to all. Yang berbahagia Dato Sri Nirmala Abdul Rahim, Chairperson of Hock Capital Berhad. Yang berusaha Mr. Ong Boon Leng, Managing Director Hock Capital Berhad. Yang berbahagia Dato Bill Tan, Managing Director of M&A Equities Holdings Berhad. Yang berbahagia Dato Fadil Muhammad, Chief Executive Officer of Bursa Malaysia. Board of Directors, key senior management and staff of Hock Capital Berhad, management of Bursa Malaysia, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kirtika, your MC for today, and on behalf of Bursa Malaysia, welcome to the listing ceremony of Hock Capital Berhad on the main market of Bursa Malaysia. To kickstart today's event, it is my pleasure to invite Dato Fadil Muhammad, Chief Executive Officer of Bursa Malaysia, to deliver his opening remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Dato Fadil to the stage.
Yang berbahagia Datuk Sri Nirmala Abdul Rahim, Chairperson of Hock Capital Berhad. Yang berusaha Mr. Ong Boon Leng, Managing Director of Hock Capital Berhad. Yang berbahagia Datuk Bill Tan, Managing Director of M&A Equity Holdings Berhad, members of the board, management and employees of Hock Capital Berhad, distinguished guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning and a warm welcome to the exchange. Today marks an important milestone for Hock Capital Berhad as the company takes its next step forward as a public listed company and joins our growing community on the exchange. On behalf of Bursa Malaysia, my heartiest congratulations to the company for achieving this significant milestone. Hock Capital Berhad has been in the poultry farming industry since 1979, rearing layered chickens for the production and sale of table eggs. That may sound simple, but it is in fact critical, because eggs are not just another product. They are a daily staple and a food security item. In this business, reliability is everything. Stable supply, consistent quality, strict biosecurity, strong cost control, and operational excellence day after day. With automation, hygiene standards, and certifications, including halal and makanan selamat tanggungjawab industry, mesti in place, this reflects Hocksoon's focus on quality and process discipline. That track record has brought you to this stage today, and this listing is the next step to raise that standard even higher. Today's listing marks the first main market listing of Bursa Malaysia and the 10th IPO overall this year. We have more exciting IPOs lined up, and we look forward to welcoming many more companies to the market. With its public debut today, Hocksoon Capital is poised to achieve a market capitalization of 300 million ringgit based on an enlarged issued share capital of 500 million shares and an IPO price of 60 cents per share. To the board and management of Hocksoon Capital Berhad, transitioning to be a public listed company not only brings greater visibility, but also heightened responsibilities and expectations. The board's role as a compass, guiding strategy, promoting good governance, and sustaining stakeholder trust has never been more critical. At Bursa Malaysia, we are encouraged by growth stories made possible through fundraising in the public market. They reinforce our commitment to build a marketplace that empowers businesses, enables investors to be part of the progress. We therefore look forward to the company not only delivering on your plans, but also continuing to set clear and ambitious goals as you progress. This listing provides a stronger platform with greater access to capital, enhanced visibility, and wider investor base to support your growth, benchmark yourselves against industry peers, and execute effectively. We're confident you will continue to make us proud. Equally critical for long-term success as a public listed company is the practice of deliberate investor relations efforts, regardless of market sentiment or industry cycles. Consistent engagement signals transparency, builds trust, and supports informed investment decisions. Strong investor relations also help a public listed company attract and retain shareholders, optimize valuation over time, and strengthen market liquidity, all of which support a healthier ecosystem for both the company and its investors. Bursa Malaysia remains committed to supporting PLCs in this journey, from pre-IPO to post-IPO, through initiatives that elevate quality, investability, and visibility, and strengthen capabilities for long-term market engagement. Ladies and gentlemen, in a moment, the gong will mark Hocksoon Capital Berhad's official entry into the main market. We look forward to seeing the company execute its expansion plans, deliver on performance, and raise the bar not only for itself, but for the sector. Congratulations once again to Hocksoon Capital Berhad, your board, management, and employees. Thank you for choosing Bursa Malaysia as your platform for growth, and Sin Yen Kuai Lei for those celebrating Chinese New Year. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Fadil, for the opening remarks. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, it is my pleasure to invite Mr. Ong Kiat Ho, Executive Director, Hocksoon Capital Berhad, to deliver his speech. Mr. Ong, the stage is yours.
Yang berbahagia Datuk Fadil Muhammad, the CEO of Bursa Malaysia. Yang berbahagia Datuk Sri Normala, Chairperson of Hock, Mr. Ong Boon Leng, Managing Director of Hock. Yang berbahagia Datuk Bill Tan, Managing Director of M&A Equity. Mr. Gary Ting, Head of Corporate Finance, M&A Securities Sdn Berhad. Board members, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. On behalf of Hock Capital Berhad, I would like to extend my warmest appreciation to all of you for joining us this morning to witness our listing ceremony. Today's event marks a major milestone in the history of Hock as we embark on our journey as a newly public listed company on the main market of Bursa Malaysia Securities Berhad. This achievement reflects years of hard work, resilience, and unwavering commitment from every member of Hock. The listing of Hock on the main market marks an important milestone in our journey. It provides us with greater financial elasticity to accelerate our strategic expansion, particularly through the development of a new poultry farm in Teluk Intan, Perak, which will significantly increase our egg production capacity and strengthen our operational efficiency, positioning Hock for sustained growth in the years ahead. As part of our expansion plan, the funds raised through this IPO will be channeled into building 25 new closed house chicken coops at our new Teluk Intan facility. These initiatives will not only increase production, but also improve quality and efficiency, enabling us to serve both existing and new markets more effectively. At Hock, we deliver high-quality table eggs to all our customers across Malaysia. What sets us apart is our vertically integrated model, encompassing our own feed mill and closed house poultry farm, ensuring consistent quality control and operational excellence. Besides, a closely knitted management team is also crucial to the consistent growth of Hock. Today, I stand here as the third generation leader in the company. I am mindful that stewardship is a responsibility. This company was built on discipline, patience, and trust, values that remain unchanged even as we are now a listed company. Ladies and gentlemen, as we embark on a new chapter in our journey today, one that holds immense promise and potential, and with your unwavering support, we will continue to push the boundaries of what's possible. We aim to explore opportunities beyond the domestic market and, subject to regulatory approvals, take our products to international markets such as Singapore in the near future. As we now officiate the listing, or rather hit the gong, let it resonate that Hock is committed to delivering value, not only to our shareholders, but also to the society at large. We fully recognize the responsibilities that comes with being a public company and pledge to uphold the highest standards of corporate governance, transparency, and integrity. Today's listing is dedicated to the hard work, dedication, and perseverance of our staff. We also owe this success to our valued investors, partners, business associates, and customers, whereas their trust and confidence have been instrumental in bringing us to this moment. Last but not least, I would like to record my utmost thanks to the Securities Commission and Bursa Securities, our advisor, underwriter, and placement agent, M&A Securities, and all members of the due diligence working group for their guidance throughout this journey. A special thanks to Bursa Securities for hosting this ceremony this morning. Once again, thank you for your presence this morning, and I wish you all a wonderful day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ong, for the remarkable speech. I'm sure that today marks the beginning of an exciting chapter for Hock Capital Berhad, and we eagerly look forward to the accomplishments that lie ahead. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, before we move to the highlight of today's proceedings, please allow me to give you some brief updates on the market and trading information on Hock Capital Berhad. Hock Capital Berhad will debut on the main market of Bursa Malaysia, bearing stock code of 5346 and a stock short name of Hock Hock Capital Berhad will be listed under the Consumer Products and I have the pleasure of inviting onto the stage and have the honor of hitting the gong, Dr. Sri Nirmala Abdurrahim, Chairperson, Hock Capital Berhad, Mr. Ong Boon Leng, Managing Director, Hock Capital. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming them onto the stage. As we have a moment to spare, I would like to invite our guests for a group photo before we commence the countdown. Time is ticking. It is now 8:58 a.m. and we're only 2 minutes away from striking the gong. Please feel free to step forward and capture as many photographs as you please of this momentous occasion. To our esteemed guests, please feel free to strike the gong as many times as you wish to commemorate this special occasion for Hock capital Berhad. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment we have all been waiting for. We are just moments away from the stroke of 9 a.m. Join me as we count down together. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. On behalf of Bursa Malaysia, a hearty congratulations to the board members and management of Hock Capital Berhad, their advisor, and all the relevant parties involved in the successful listing ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to invite the management team of Bursa Malaysia to join us for a group photograph on the stage.
And a very good morning, fellow investors. Welcome to Clever Stock. My name is Wan Izul, and I'm here at Bursa Malaysia for the official main market listing ceremony of Hock Capital Berhad. So now the specialized producer of table eggs has officially debuted on the main market of Bursa Malaysia today, following a positive response to its IPO. Now, the public portion of the exercise achieved a subscription rate of 1.36 times, reflecting steady investor interest in the resilient consumer staples sector. Now, let's take a look at the board and see how they fared this morning. So we take a look. Their Bursa stock code is 5346 with the name Hock Soon. The reference price, or what they were selling for initially, was 60 cents. It opened at 53 cents with a high of 55.5 cents and as low as 50 cents. Currently, the volume trading is at around 163 million plus, with the value at around 95 million in total. All right. So, according to the company, the Malaysian public tranche received about 2,779 applications for 33.88 million new shares. The non-Bumiputra public portion was notably more active with a subscription rate of 1.72 times, while the Bumiputra portion saw a rate of 0.99 times. Now, all 12.5 million shares reserved for eligible directors, employees and contributors were fully taken up. Now, M&A Securities Siaran Berhad, serving as the principal advisor and underwriter, confirmed that the private placement component was also a success. A total of 62.5 million new shares allocated to Bumiputra investors approved by MITI, along with 50 million existing shares for selected investors, were fully placed following the necessary reallocation and clawback processes. Now, the group enters the public market on a strong financial footing. For its first quarter ended December 31st, Hock reported a net profit of 8.4 million ringgit on the back of 47.73 million ringgit in revenue. Now, this performance highlights the company's efficient cost management and also the high demand for its core product, staple eggs. Now, proceeds from the IPO, which raised about 60 million ringgit, are earmarked for aggressive capacity expansion. Approximately 89.1% will fund the establishment of a state-of-the-art poultry farm in Teluk Intan, Perak, and this facility is expected to nearly double the group's production capacity to 3.2 million eggs per day over the next 5 years, significantly strengthening its market positioning as Malaysia moves towards Visit Malaysia 2026 and increased demand for eggs. Now, industry analysts have noted that the success of Hock's market debut will hinge on the execution of delivering scale, efficiency and also steady output. So the group is also eyeing the Singapore market, with export approvals expected as early as the first quarter of this year to further diversify its revenue base. Now, up next, we will have the press conference live. We'll get some input from the upper management in terms of how well they're doing and any updates from the company. So don't go away. We're still going to have the live press conference for Hock Capital's main market listing on Bursa Malaysia. We'll be right back after this short break.
Kemudian, on behalf of Capital Berhad, thank you for joining us this morning. Hock made its new market debut at 53 cents on the with 5.98 million shares traded at opening bell. Joining us today are the key senior management of Hock. We have Mr. Executive Directors. Next to him, we have Mr. Ken Choi. Chief, I open the floor for questions now.
From the sign, can you share about your new farm, when it will be completed and
Okay, so about the new farm, right? So technically, right after listing, we will start constructing the new chicken coop. So as soon as 6 months post-listing, we are expecting to have the first egg production. Then progressively, the whole project will be done throughout a time span of 5 years. And then eventually, the egg production will slowly ramp up to a final production of extra 1.5 million eggs per day. Yeah. Yeah.
Coming from Panama, the shares opened 7 cents below the IPO price. So how do you interpret the market's initial reaction? And what message would you like to send?
I think the opening could be lower than our IPO price, but I believe in Hocksoon perspective is that we should focus on the IPO expansion plan, because I believe we have a strong fundamentals and also a good growth trajectory also. Yeah, thank you.
And what will be the immediate focus on this?
The immediate focus, of course, is on the new expansion for our Telok Intan project. Yeah.
And finally, also your outlook for the at least next 2 or 3 years
Sorry, our outlook for next 2 or 3 years.
in terms of profitability.
I think moving forward, yes, as I said, after listing, 6 months after listing, we're expecting to see the first egg production to come in. So of course, it will turns out to be a stronger revenue contribution as well as profitability. And also right now, as I understand, is that we all know the ringgit is strengthening. As of today morning, I do see it around 3 ringgit 80-ish already. So I believe with that also, we are able to save some cost on the feed. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
may I know where you source your feed?
Usually it's from overseas, but we source it from Argentina, Brazil, Ukraine, nations like this. Yeah.
And may I know if your new farm, right, have you secured demand, and is there any risk of oversupply?
What I see is that, of course, egg being the staple food, I believe that with our progressive construction of the chicken coop, we are able to cope with finding the extra demand for the new supply coming, because it's going to be built progressively, so it's not a total production increase. So I do see that we are able to cope with that.
May I know if your thought on the risk, right, with subsidies, does that affect your long-term pricing?
Okay, I think we have to come back to the point where the government subsidy was set up to be a cushion for the price control of the government's intention, because at that point during pandemic, there was a shortage of egg, and then they do set up a price control, and then eventually they gave us a government subsidy. But moving forward, I do think that without the subsidy, we still can have a good earnings and then also stay resilient. Because egg being the staple food, I do believe is a consistent demand.
You're also expanding to Singapore, is that right?
Yes, we are expecting, we already have the audit done in July last year. So hopefully by Q1, we are able to get the response from the Singapore Food Agency. Yeah.
So in 3 years, what percentage do you expect revenue from Singapore?
I think in 3 years, I cannot answer you, but as soon as we start, my first target is to have at least a 5% revenue contribution to Hocksoon for our export to Singapore. Yeah.
So beyond expansion or the new chicken houses or the chicken coops, you also mentioned a bit about automation and efficiency. Maybe you can explain to us a little bit about how you plan to do that.
Okay, I think what we are planning to do is that with our strong expertise in the modern farming in our Bido farm right now, so we are intending to replicate the same method to do it for the Telok Intan project but also notwithstanding if there are new technologies that are coming in force in the world and of farming, we are also open to adapt that also. Yeah.
Can we have the next question?
Do you expect better margin from Singapore because of their currency?
Yes, I do expect the margin to be better in Singapore, but as of right now, I think the main focus, of course, is to serve the nation with the staple food supply first. Singapore will serve as a diversified revenue contribution to Hock Soon moving forward. Yeah. But of course, with the currency exchange, we do expect a stronger margin from Singapore. Yeah.
What's the expected timeline for the telur ikan?
As I said, I think we are expecting the first egg production to be 6 months post-listing. Yeah, because right now the land is already KM approved, so we are doing the land clearing works. So eventually, I think we're starting the infrastructure work anytime soon. Yeah.
Any more questions? If there's no question, we'd like to wrap up the session. Thank you all for joining us today again, and please join us for breakfast outside.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.